gorilla, nature. Bro, let's go skate. Dude, E equals MC squared. Nerd for life. All right. Woo! What's up, you guys? Your boy Pastor Darius here. Very excited. Woo! This is another blessed day of life. You heard me? Blessed day of life. And this is another episode of Pastor Darius Knows Things. Woo! Let's go, baby. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Let's give God a praise. Let's go. Another blessed day of life, man. You guys should be excited. You made it through another day on planet Earth, the most blessed planet of them all. Life exists here. I don't know about the other planets, but I know here we have living beings. Let's go. You guys, consider yourselves blessed. You're still in the land of the living. You are clearly favored in the kingdom of God. So, you guys, today we're doing something new. We're doing a new topic, and then we're going to go back and we're going to continue on with our financial topic. But right now, I want to talk about sex. You heard it. I want to talk about sex. Very important topic for the young people, because a lot of young people are just out there willy-nilly doing whatever they want to do, and I dig it, bro. I dig it. I understand that we are living in different times, but I think you guys need to understand me. You know what I'm saying? And my understanding is that we need to have self-control. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, your boy Pastor Darius. This is another episode of Pastor Darius Knows Things. See you guys in the episode. Woo! Let's go. All right, you guys. So there is a special component about today's topic, right? So I talked to the AI, right? Everybody's using AI. They got so many different types of AI out there now, right? We got GPT, we have Gemini, we got CoPilot, and plethoras of other AIs out there, So I was talking with, Gemini, my personal assistant. Real talk, bro, because this is, Gemini be giving me bro, the AI is just so great. Like, straight up, bro. It makes everything so much easier, man. But so I asked Gemini, I asked Gemini to give me 5 reasons why Christians should avoid sex out of marriage. And this is what Gemini told me. Let's go ahead to the first reasoning, right? The first reason was spiritual purity, right? And it said, many Christians believe that sex is reserved for marriage, a sacred union before God. Engaging in sexual activity outside of this context is seen as violating this sacredness and compromising one's spiritual purity. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Because, I've tumbled down the hill many times, right? In my past when I was younger, right? Like I've had sex, a plethora of times. And, when I was younger, my excuse was that I was just following the trends of the time. I was doing what was generally accepted, and to be honest, right? I think that when I was engaged with my ex-girlfriend, and we were planning, I was planning to marry her and so forth and so on. And, I think that was probably the only time when I felt that special connection, with another person intimately, in a sexual manner. And I'll be honest, like right now, like that was like the last time that I seen her was, I don't even know, man, and maybe about almost over a year, and since, like, I've I'm not perfect, man. Like uh, I've made many silly decisions in the past. Like I've been with, as I said, a plethora of women when I was younger, and I've just made those bad decisions. And I'll tell you, man, like I want to honor that sacredness, because I believe that it is something special between. There is definitely something special between two people when they make a commitment to each other. And I, like I said, when I first was starting, like before when I first started this, I was talking about self-control. And I think that's what it's really about, is self-control. Like, we're living in times where I feel like most young people just lack self-control. Like, we're living in a time where everybody wants everything right away. And some things are just not meant to have right away. Some things, it is better to wait for them. And I think that having sex in marriage is probably one of those things that I think it's worth waiting for, because you just, you want to, it's a sacred thing. It's not just something that you do to feel good, right? It's something that two people who are deeply in love with each other, and two people who have like a committed relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the marriage comes in. That is what marriage is. It is a committed relationship between two people and God. You know what I'm saying? And so, I know that I just think that it's important that we take the time and that we learn to practice self-discipline. Because if you can learn to practice self-discipline, right, and like abstaining from sex is one thing, and then another component would be also like I know a lot of guys out there like to they like to to sit and watch porn and stuff like that, and then play with themselves. I think that it's also important that we refrain from doing that too, because like I said, right, self-control. I think it's important that we learn to have self-control, because certain things are not of God, and whatever those people did, right, the two people who went on that camera and whatever they did, that was definitely not of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably better to refrain from doing that as well. So let's go ahead, hop into part two. Number 2 was emotional and psychological well-being. And it says sex creates a deep emotional bond. When shared outside the commitment of marriage, it can lead to emotional hurt, confusion, and a sense of fragmentation, especially if the relationship ends. Wow. And I think that this is probably one of the more important reasons, right? So I studied psychology in school for my first bachelor degree program. And, I learned to think differently, right? I started thinking about the emotional effect that things are having on me, right? And I started looking at things from like a chemical perspective, right? A biological perspective. Whenever a person has sex, whenever they do a drug, you know what I'm saying? Like any type, like everything that we do gives us dopamine and increases our dopamine, which is the dopamine is the feel good. I've talked about this before. It's our feel good. You get huge rushes of it. And what a lot of the time, it's not necessarily the drug itself that we're addicted to. it's the feeling that we get from the drug. And the same thing with the sex, right? It's the feeling that we get in the sex. But the issue when you are doing it so much and doing it all the time is that there will become a point where that special feeling that you got goes away because it's no longer special anymore. And I think this is what's happening to a lot of young people. I think a lot of young people are just experimenting with it, and they're not getting that good feeling anymore. It's just something to do. And it's like going to the bathroom, and honestly, I don't want to, when I get married, there will be times we're going to take a break from each other because I believe that it's something special, something special. Sex it's an amazing thing. And I think it's something that we should do with somebody that we really care about. And, because when you just do it with random people, I mean, there's that emotional connection. And I know a lot of people think that they just have so much self-control that they don't have the emotional connection. And I think this is why a lot of people are going crazy in their relationships. You see people going off and fighting people in the streets because, the person that they were in a relationship with went off with somebody else. And it caused them to be so distraught and crazy. I just really think that it's better that we learn to abstain and use self-control. It's definitely better to not just be messing around with random people out there. Honest truth, because, when, let's say that relationship doesn't work out, now you have an emotional bond to this person and you no longer have access to that person. That's where the pain happens. That's where pain lives. Anyway, next one is respect for self and partner. Choosing to wait until marriage for sex demonstrates self-control, respect for one's own body, and respect for the future spouse. It signifies valuing the relationship enough to save this intimate act for the committed partnership of marriage. And this is what I was talking about abstaining. I mean, think about this. Do you really see yourself marrying a woman who has been out there with like a whole bunch of different guys? And, for women, do you really see yourself marrying some guy who has just been out there messing around with a whole bunch of different women? Now, put yourself in that position. And if you're wondering why it's been so hard for you to find somebody to spend your life with, it's because you've given away your emotional bond to so many different individuals that it's almost impossible for you to make the lifelong emotional bond. Each time that you're sexually intimate with another person, you're giving a piece of yourself away. So when it comes time for you to want to settle down with somebody, you have almost nothing left. You're giving this person the leftover pieces of you, the broken pieces, right? The broken portion of you from all the broken relationships that you've been through. It's better to wait, people. Use self-control. It is beyond important that we learn to have self-control as Christians, right? Having self-control teaches you something. It teaches you're learning patience. You're learning discipline. We are not just supposed to be like everybody else in the world. We are supposed to be set apart. It's okay to be different. We don't have to be like everybody else. Straight up. I respect however anybody wants to live their life. This is not an attack on any person's choice of living. Hey man, we all got decisions to make in our life, and we have to live with those decisions. I'm just saying, make decisions that you can live with. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to number 4, avoiding unintended consequences. Ooh, I think this is probably one of the more important ones. Sex can have consequences like unplanned pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections. These can bring significant challenges and emotional distress, which could be avoided by waiting until marriage. Now, I think for me and for a lot of people, right? Let's say you're not a Christian person, but you're just watching this. I think that this could be valuable to you. I promise you that, like, there's a disease called HPV out there, and it doesn't matter if you wear condoms. It is transferred through skin-to-skin contact. I promise you don't want it. You go look at that dog. I think it's called genital warts or something like that. It's called HPV. Google it. Just go and Google it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Crazy, bro. I promise you don't want that. Number 2, right? HIV, AIDS, right? It is not something that there's no cure for it in modern medicine. I stand by what I just said. There's no cure for it in modern medicine. I'm not gonna put no conspiracy stuff up out there right now. Real talk. But yeah, there's no, and I think the diseases, the sexually transmitted infections and all that are definitely something that we should worry about and think about. But I think the biggest thing that's more important than that is unplanned babies, unplanned pregnancies. You know what I'm saying? Like how many children have been raised up in broken families? How many children have to be raised up in broken families? And then the crazy part is some of those kids have to watch other families where the people use, old knowledge, right? Like, culture. There's a lot of cultures out there where they do things a certain way. And if you don't do things that certain way, you will be shunned from the culture. The culture will shun you. You will, like, your parents will not talk to you. Your family members will not talk to you. Like, straight up, you'll be cut off. If you go off, get pregnant, do something like that. There's a lot of cultures that will not accept that. I know in American culture, it's just like, whatever, bro. Like, we've just like straight up turned from our Christian values. It's good that we got a Christian president now, and now we're trying to work towards creating, making this country a Christian country, right? And try and turn back to having some of our old traditional values, because it's like, the country is just like anything goes, right? We're the leading one. Like, we're the leading ones of anything goes. Go to the party, meet somebody, go home with them. Anything goes. And the problem is the consequences, the long-term consequences. I think that we should stop being selfish and start thinking about the effect that we're having on the world around us. Children should not have to grow up in broken homes. Children should not have to understand adult problems. That's messed up. It's selfish. You guys need to start thinking and making more rational decisions. If you're watching this and you're a young person, you have the ability to change. You don't have to put children through suffering. So let's go ahead. Next one is number 5 is building a strong foundation for marriage. Abstaining from sex before marriage allows couples to focus on building a deeper emotional, intellectual, and spiritual connection. This can create a stronger foundation for a lasting and fulfilling marriage. Just imagine what your perfect marriage should look like. A lot of people don't like to imagine, and I'm challenging you to imagine what the perfect the perfect relationship would look like. It's okay. Like, you know, men specifically, a lot of men who have gone through a lot of like depressing things in their lifetime don't like to hope for good things. I'm telling you to be adventurous enough to hope. It takes a really strong man to be emotional with a woman. It takes a really strong man because we're taught not to do that. We're taught not to show emotion. Most men are told, don't cry when you're young. That's, you know, you're acting like a female. You know, they use worse language than that, but I'm trying to clean it up, you know, for my viewers. But I want you to know that there is a better version of you out there for men and women. There is a better version of you out there as well. And I promise you that better version of you will be cultivated and grown in your relationship with the one that God has chosen for you. You guys, have faith and be blessed. Thank you guys for watching this. Catch you guys next time. Peace. Woo! Another episode. Yeah! Bam! Let's go. Hello, you guys. My name is Pastor Darius. I am so grateful for all the people who choose to watch our videos. And I just wanted to take the time to invite you guys to help us to make a difference. I am the Chief Executive Officer and President of the Board of Gorilla Nature Inc. That's our nonprofit organization. We are a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, which means that when you make donations to our nonprofit, those donations are tax deductible. So I wanted to invite you guys to, you know, go ahead, go check out our Cash App at Gorilla Nature Inc. Again, that's at Gorilla Nature Inc. Go to our Cash App and make a donation today. You guys can also go check out our website at www.gorillaнаtureinc.com, and you know that will give you an overview of the work that we've been doing around the world. We are an international nonprofit organization, so we specialize in helping kids in poor countries to get education. We support them in their pursuit of education. We buy school books, we buy backpacks, and we buy school supplies. We also do events to help the kids, and we are helping kids. We've done projects over in India, we've done in Bangalore, we've done projects in Kerala over in India, we've also done projects over in Ghana and Africa, and we've sent our teams over to Nigeria. You know, I personally have gone down to Nicaragua, and I've been over in Costa Rica, and we've done projects internationally in different parts of the world. We have many organizations that we work with, and the fact is that we need your support to be able to keep doing the work that we're doing. So if you guys appreciate these videos and the hard work that we're doing to keep putting out these videos, please help to support us so we can continue to help support the operations, and also help support the young kids who we are inspiring on a daily basis to believe for great things. I want to thank you so much. I am Pastor Darius. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching this video.